Hi everyone, Peter Shmock here for another edition of the Life Athlete here in, the beautiful island of Lopez in the San Juan Islands in the state of Washington. A little cloudy, but who's complaining? It's pretty close to perfection. Matter of fact, it is perfection, just like your body, as a matter of fact. One great miracle, our human body's another great miracle. So let's take care of them. Let's move, let's learn about some of the basics for developing mobility and then strength in your body. The hips. In our society today, we are sedentary. We walk a little bit. Some of us engage in activities such as lifting and riding bike and all those other wonderful things. But basically, the hips are very tight in most people, and they don't have the function of being able to fully access them. So here's what I want to show you. Your hips using your hips efficiently begin with a straight spine. So a neutral spine, long spine. If you put a dowel, the back of your head, your shoulder blades, and your tailbone are going to be connected. Now, some people, this is probably the best position to be in. To bring their head back is a little too difficult. Learning what this feels like, whether you're running, you're riding your bike, pedaling, you're a linebacker, you're a shortstop, it's crucial to learn how to get into your hips. So basically think of your hips as being this point that sits back. And notice that when I sit back, I also have to lean forward. The two have to happen at the same time. I can't do this and maintain looking upward. Actually, what's going to happen, I'm going to sit my hips, I'm going to look down a little bit. Still straight spine, right? So what we're going to do is mobilize your hips first. Use a bench. Sit on the edge of the bench and roll your hips, thinking of them as kind of a block. And they're going to roll forward past your sits bones, the bony part of your pelvis, and then back into the meaty part of your fanny. And just do that back and forth. Your stance is about shoulder width apart. And notice when you extend, you're going to feel some tension, not only in the back of your legs, your hamstrings, but also in your groin. That's a good thing. That's what you want to feel, because we're going to mobilize those hips by getting the musculature and getting those tendons looser. So back and forth and back and forth. Now take it to a point. Pretend you have the dowel on your back, or you can use the dowel. And now feel as though you're going to lift off using your spine, not your legs. As though you had a string attached to the top of your head. And that string is going to pull you off like that and then come right back down. And practice rolling forward as far as you can. And at the same time that you're going out that way, I want you to feel as though you're pulling back in your femurs. You're pulling your legs back into your hips. And see what that feels like. This is the essential squat. Also, using your hips. Start with a bench that's high enough that you can get off. It's going to take some effort. And then slowly come to upright. And then when you go back down, don't fall. Take your time and see if you can land softly, reaching for it, and then come back down. Do that again and again, and slowly lower the level of the bench you're using. In time, you can use dumbbells. You don't even have to use a bench any longer, but you know that your spine is straight, you're sitting back in your hips, meaning also that you're sitting into your heels, you're leaning forward, and that this knee joint right here is back behind the toes. This is what most people do when they squat. You don't want that. You want back into your heels. That prevents you from falling over. If I'm leaning forward, I have to have something in a counter energy going back into my heels. So here's the position here, and then basically here. If I use dumbbells, weights, 2 pounds, light, but it's weight. Sit here, slowly extend through the spine, put weight into your heels, come all the way up. You can do the same thing using a ball. Ball comes up to counter the energy of you leaning forward, back up. Again, you can use a dowel along your back. What about a deadlift? Look at that position. This is what I want you to practice. This is what I want you to get comfortable in doing. Being in your hips will strengthen your spine, will elongate and strengthen your hamstrings. Basically, your whole body just about is moving in one movement. That sort of flexibility and mobility in your hips will be awesomely useful in doing anything from gardening, hiking, running, weightlifting, and you need to get stronger. You need to lift weights, even if it's only 2 pounds. That's a weight. A dowel, that's a weight. You start light and then you build. That's the nature of the life athlete. Progression slowly, build mobility first, strength on top of that, and in time you'll have a body that's fluid, that's strong, that's mobile, and that's there for you when you need it. Build progressively, effort, not exhaustion. You might be a little sore in those hammies the next day, but this is the right way to squat. This is the right way to use your hips. Mobilize, utilize, get stronger. Be a life athlete for the rest of your life. Till next time, take good care.